Today, I'm reviewing the Shanling Tino dual dynamic in-ear monitors. Let's get it. What's cracking, audio fans? It's David here from Prime Audio Reviews. So there we have the box for the Tino. The price of this unit is $79 US. Like I said, it is a double dynamic driver IEM. We've got one 10mm LCP driver and one 8mm DLC or diamond-like carbon driver. Let's have a look at the shells. And boy, these look sweet. Have a look at those. Really pretty. So these gorgeous faceplates are crafted using a metal foil burning technique. It's an ancient Chinese technique. And the results, as you can see, are amazing. They look so cool. The body of the shells is just glossy acrylic or resin, 3D printed shells. They are smaller than average, so they'll fit easily into your ears if you've got small ears. And for me, at least, they are super comfortable. I can wear them all day long. Let's have a look at the cable now. And remembering the price is $79 US. This is a pretty spectacular cable for a $79 IEM. Silver plated, a mixture of copper, OCC copper, and silver plated copper. Obviously 0.78mm 2-pin connectors. There is no chin slider for some reason, although I never use them, so that doesn't bother me. This is also a modular cable, so you can just unscrew that and pull it out like that. However, you only get the 3.5mm single-ended plug in the box. If you want either the 4.4mm balance plug or the USB Type-C termination, you have to buy those separately. But for an entry-level IEM, that's a great quality cable. Now let's come back to the IEMs, and I'll put them... I can't put them too close together because these magnets inside are so powerful. Check this out. Amazing. But let's crack on with the sound, and I will throw up the graph here. And by the way, this is a very efficient IEM. You don't need any amplification. You can plug it straight into a smartphone or a laptop or a dongle DAC, whatever. You don't need much power. In terms of sound signature, the Tino it's sort of neutral warm. It has a somewhat musical tonality. I would say maybe U-shaped sound signature. It's got a bit of bass lift. It's got some upper mid-range emphasis as well, but the vocals and the mid-range is quite forward. Got a fairly smooth upper treble. It's a kind of tuning that works well for an everyday driver, and by that I mean it's non-fatiguing, but yet it still has ample energy and brightness to keep you engaged. Let's talk bass, and the Tino's bass, it's slightly north of neutral, and it adds body and richness to the sound, but it doesn't feel excessive in any way. While it might lack the sheer aggression that true bass heads crave, I think most listeners will appreciate the balanced low end. Like I said, just slightly north of neutral. The mid bass is punchy, it's tactile, it's snappy. It's got a reasonable amount of texture, not heaps, but reasonable enough, and it's energetic enough to drive the rhythm, but it's always tightly controlled, and it's a bass that grooves without overstepping. And then for the mid-range is fairly close to neutral, but again sprinkled with a hint of added richness for that organic warmth or naturalness. Vocals take center stage. They're clear and dynamic, and they cut through the mix fairly easily without feeling strained or shouty or aggressive. Both male and female vocals are nice and vivid. They have a nice balance of intimacy and energy. They're not too far away. They're not too in your face. Instruments share the same expressive clarity. Strings, I found string instruments like violins and cellos to sound really nice. A nice balance of body and strings in there. And although the mid-range is overall nice and smooth, guitars still have enough bite, and the transients are reasonably snappy, and that's all underpinned by a nice natural earthy tone. It's not the most revealing or transparent mid-range, but the clarity is good, and the separation in the mid-range is pretty strong. Now for the treble doesn't try to show off. It's got good extension, but it's not too aggressive. It's not the kind of treble that'll sort of wow you with sparkle, but that's kind of the point. The smoothness is what makes the treble work so well here. It's not ear-piercing, it's just sort of easy listening, non-fatiguing. There is a slight dip in the brilliance region, and that tempers any harshness. And while that may not satisfy treble heads looking for a really ultra brilliant top end, it has a natural integration, or it's very cohesive with the mid-range and the bass. It just fits and works nicely. It's crisp enough to uncover micro details, but it never crosses into glare territory, making it a safe bet for extended listening. And then in terms of soundstage, the soundstage isn't really expansive, but it doesn't feel cramped either. It falls somewhere in between. The stage position is fairly neutral. It's neither pushed back or brought too forward. That slight warmth in the tonality thickens the note size a bit, so it's not the most spacious presentation. The resolution, though, is pretty good for a sub $100 IEM. Instrument separation is handled well, and when it comes to imaging, it sort of portrays left to right stereo separation really well, but it's not really what I would call a 3D holographic soundstage. But again, perfectly acceptable for an affordable IEM like this. Right, comparison time, and whoopsie, I love that. And I'm going to bring in the SimGot EA500LM, which is around the same price, I think $79 or so. And the EA500LM, it's a bit airier and lighter, and that's mainly due to having a bit of extra treble energy. The bass on the EA500LM is a bit more tactile, it's a bit more defined, but it's not as powerful. Vocals are slightly more suppressed. They're not as vibrant as they are on the Tino. However, the SimGot's mid-range has a lighter note weight, which makes the mids feel a bit more spacious, but not quite as effortlessly natural as they are on the Tino. And again, the SimGot has a more spacious and airier stage, whereas the Tino has better note density. And next up, going to pull, oh, by the way, the EA500LM, that is a single dynamic driver IEM. Next, we've got the RT-T10. This is a single planar driver, and it's coming in a little bit cheaper. It's about $53-ish, and the T10 has got a warmer and thicker sound, and that's due to an elevated bass, particularly the sub bass, and a slightly subdued upper mid-range. So the T10's mid-range is richer, it's a little bit more colored, it's a very engaging tuning. It doesn't scream transparency, but you know, thanks to the speed and agility of that planar driver, it handles that extra richness really well. It doesn't sound congested at all. I think the T10 has a slightly wider soundstage but less depth than the Tino. And the T10, look, I took this out yesterday just to refresh my memory, and I was reminded just how fun it is. It's a really fun IEM. If you're looking for something that's really engaging, especially great for bass-driven music genres like hip-hop and EDM, etc. Great for jazz too, but just a really fun and engaging sound. But the Tino, on the other hand, is slightly higher fidelity. It's a little bit more balanced. So where do we sit with the Shanling Tino? Look, it's a beautifully crafted IEM, absolutely stunning. $79, you get that excellent modular cable, and it's got great build quality, really comfortable, good sound, nice neutral warm sound. Overall, I think it's pretty good value for the money. I would definitely list this with the other top contenders in that sub 100 area, the SimGot here, the Kefine Delchi AE, the Kefine Clean, etc. all those good things. So if you're looking for something around that 70, 50, 60, 70, 80 dollar price point, check out the Shanling Tino. I recommend it. Having said that, it's time to wrap it up. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, Bar Family Audiophile style. If you would like to support the channel and help me keep creating content like this, click on that Patreon link down in the description. And if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button before you go. And until next time, I'll see you later.